If bass are following your bait and not eating it, here's what to do on your very next cast. Reel it like normal, and then stop. Completely. For 1 full second, do nothing. Let the bait fall. Then start again. Do that 3 or 4 times per retrieve on your next 10 casts, and some of the fish that have been following your bait all day will eat it. That's the fix. It costs nothing, and you can do it this afternoon. But stay with me, because in about a minute, I'm going to show you the exact moment you're losing these fish, and by the end, the 2 situations where that pause actually works against you. Start with what's happening when you're getting nothing. You made 40 casts today and felt nothing, so you figured the water was empty. It usually isn't. On a decent number of those casts, a bass left her spot, tracked your bait for 6 or 8 feet, closed to within a foot of it, and turned away. You never saw her. You never felt her. There was no bite to miss because a bite is the last thing that happens, and she never got that far. You weren't ignored today, you were inspected. And here's why that matters. Eating your bait is not one decision for a bass. It's 4. She has to detect it, then decide it's worth approaching, then close in and inspect it, and then, at the very end, commit. This isn't a theory I came up with. Dr. Keith Jones ran fish research at Berkeley's facility in Spirit Lake, Iowa, running controlled feeding trials on thousands of largemouth, tanks where every approach and every refusal got recorded. It's collected in his book, Knowing Bass, and the most useful thing to come out of all that work wasn't a lure recommendation. It was that the decision is a sequence, and every stage can fail on its own, which means the fish weren't biting is 4 completely different failures wearing the same disguise. So let's find out which one is yours, because it changes what you do next. Gates 1 and 2, detection and approach, your gear handles for you. Bass are extraordinarily good at finding things, and they investigate constantly. Any decent lure clears them. You're losing fish at Gate 3, the inspection, and that gives you your first tactical decision right now before we go any further. If you're getting follows and no eats, stop changing lures. You already cleared detection and approach. The lure is fine. Tying on a different one just restarts the whole sequence with a fish who's now seen 2 of your baits and is a little more suspicious than she was. Change what the lure is doing, not what it is. Okay, so what is she actually inspecting? It changes as she gets closer, and that's the key to all of this. Far out, she isn't seeing your bait at all. She's feeling it. A bass has a lateral line, pressure-sensitive channels down each flank and across her head, reading water displacement. Not sound the way we hear it. Pressure. A wounded shad flaring, a crawfish scooting off a rock, your spinnerbait thumping across a flat. She reads those from well outside her visual range, in muddy water and in the dark. So in stained water at distance, your color is irrelevant. She hasn't seen it, she felt it. Inside a few feet, vision takes over, and this is where you start getting graded. Because she's not asking what your bait is. She's asking whether it's behaving like something that's about to be food. Bass don't hunt objects. They hunt situations. Years of eating has built her a library, a threatened baitfish, a crawfish that knows it's in trouble, a dying shad on the drop, and she's comparing your bait against it from 8 inches away. Now look at a standard retrieve through her eyes. 1 speed, the same speed since it hit the water, a straight line, moving directly away from her at a constant rate. It has never once flinched, stalled, or panicked. Nothing alive moves like that. Nothing in that lake travels in a straight line at constant speed, unless it's already dead and a drifting dead thing doesn't swim away from her. It sinks. So she declines. No thump, no tick. Your line doesn't even move. Now stack fishing pressure on top. On a hammered lake, she isn't just comparing your bait to real prey. She's comparing it to the last 80 baits she's seen this month. Same speed, same line, same angle. She's learned that pattern, and she quits earlier every time. Which is why the guy catching fish on a pressured public lake isn't throwing a secret lure. His retrieve just doesn't look like everyone else's. So, back to that pause, now that you know what it's actually doing. She follows your bait, waiting for it to do the one thing every real meal she's ever eaten has done. Flee. Break left. Burst. Panic. Give her the trigger. A steady retrieve never gives her that, so she never commits. The pause gives it to her 2 different ways. First, it breaks the constant speed signature that's failing the inspection, and it makes your bait fall. And a thing that stops swimming and sinks is a thing that's dying. That's why most strikes come on the drop. But here's the part almost nobody explains. When your bait stops, the fish behind it doesn't. She's still coming. The gap closes, and now your bait is hanging in her face at 0 speed, and it cannot escape. She has spent her entire life learning that prey which can't escape is prey you eat right now, because that window does not stay open. The pause doesn't just look natural, it removes her reason to wait. So how long? Start at 1 second and go longer as the water gets colder. In warm water, she's decisive, and a short pause is plenty. In cold water, everything slows. How fast she closes, how long she deliberates, and a 1 second pause ends before she's made up her mind. That's when 3, 4, 5 seconds starts producing. It's why cold water anglers talk about dead sticking. And vary it. If every pause is exactly 1 second, you've just built a new pattern, and a pressured fish will learn that one too. 2 more ways to give her the flea, both free. Break the straight line. Real prey doesn't commute. It bursts, drifts, turns, hangs, bursts again. Put a stutter in your retrieve every few feet. A twitch, a speed change, a rod tip pop. Erratic isn't a technique. Erratic is what alive looks like. And fix your angle. A bait retrieved straight back at you moves away from a following fish at a constant rate, which is the least natural thing possible. Run it parallel to cover. Let current sweep it. Drop it past a laydown instead of driving it past. Same lure, same color, different geometry, different day. Quick thing before I get to the exceptions. If this changed how you think about that last foot, hit the like button. On a channel this small, it genuinely decides whether other anglers ever see it. And if you're watching on your TV, the subscribe button is right under the video. The next one is on why bass follow a Senko all the way down and still don't eat it, which is this same problem on one specific bait. Now, when does none of this work? 2 situations, and knowing them is worth as much as the fix. The first is muddy water. If she can't see your bait, she can't inspect it. So you're not failing gate 3, you're failing gate 1. She never detected you. And worse, a stopped bait stops displacing water, so pausing makes you invisible to the only sense she's using. In dirty water, it runs the other way. More vibration, more thump, and keep it moving. The second is actively feeding fish. When bass are schooling, blowing up on bait, competing with each other, the inspection basically stops, because the fish who inspects is the fish who loses the meal to the one who didn't. That's when a fast, straight, aggressive retrieve outfishes a careful one. And that's the day everybody remembers, and then tries to repeat for the next 3 months on fish that aren't doing it anymore. Which is really the whole point. The pause isn't a trick, it's the answer to one specific failure, the follow with no bite. Once you can name the gate you're failing, you stop guessing and start fixing. So next time the line's quiet and everybody says the bite's off, consider the other possibility. They're there. They came and looked. You just never got a signal because a refusal doesn't send one. You weren't ignored. You were inspected. And the fix is 1 second of doing nothing at exactly the right moment. Tell me in the comments, when the bite dies, what's the first thing you reach for? A new color or a new speed? Most of us were taught to reach for color, and I don't think that's an accident.